Hi everybody and welcome back to my kitchen. We've got a lot to do today. We're canning potatoes. It's going to be our first canning video. I hope you love that. And we're making banana walnut cakes. So banana walnut muffins or banana walnut cake. I have 5 bananas to use up, so this is what I made with them. Absolutely beautiful. You're going to love it. So I've got these beautiful bananas that I've just been saving. No one's been allowed to eat them. It's really hard to save bananas in my house without putting them in the freezer. So I just put a little note on there saying, please don't eat or you won't get cake. So if they know it's for cake, then they don't eat the bananas. But now I feel pressured to make cake. You start these things, don't you? This recipe says 1 cup of mashed banana, which is usually about 2 medium sized bananas, but bananas are just getting bigger and bigger. Now I've got 5, so I'm just going to divide them between the 2 cakes because I don't want to be left with 1 banana. So let's just, I won't do that. I was tempted to, but I think they're too soft. So we'll do that. We'll divide them between the 2 cakes because I'm going to use up all the banana. Now, as I said, I'm making 2 today, so one we'll do as cupcakes and the other one we'll do as a loaf. And I'm just using the same pan that we do our bread in. That's what I use for anything in a loaf. So to start with, we're just going to cream our butter and sugar together. So it's 125 grams of softened butter per bowl if you're making 2. And then to that, we're adding 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Now, packed brown sugar means packed brown sugar. So really pack it in when you're getting it out. So 3/4 of a cup in each bowl I need. And then a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Use a good vanilla extract. I'm having to use store-bought at the moment because I've used all mine up. I have made some more, but it's just not ready yet. Hopefully soon. I think I've got about another month. And then we're just going to cream this together by hand. That's all you're doing, is just mix this through. So I'll turn my Speedy Gonzales up and get this whisked, and then I'll show you what it looks like after I've mixed it up. And it comes together really easy. Once again, 1 bowl, 1 wooden spoon. Now I'll do the other one. This would be good if you had a little helper today, wouldn't it? You could have someone stirring. So I'm just mixing that. I'm not whisking it until it changes colour or doing anything fancy with it. I'm just getting it mixed up. And then to that, we're going to add our egg. So we need 2 eggs. And then just mix them in. And you keep stirring it until you have what's starting to look like a cake batter. I'll do the next one. Now this cake is so tasty and really beautiful. Make sure you use really ripe bananas. It does make a massive difference. You can leave the walnuts out if you like, but I really love the nuts in it, and so does everybody else. So this banana walnut bread or muffins, it's got a bit of a reputation now. I made it for an occasion once. I can't think of what it was, but it wasn't anything fancy. And one of Steve's mates just absolutely loved it. He thought it was the best thing that he'd ever tasted, these banana walnut cakes. And he's talked about it for years. And it has a lot of, I don't know, stigma attached to it now, like it's something fancy. And if he only knew how easy this recipe was, but I've never told him. But in my defence, he's never actually asked for the recipe. I'd be happy to give it to him if he'd ask. But he says, oh Mel, those cakes, have you made any more of those cakes? Every time I do make the banana walnut bread, I take a photo of it and send it to him. It's turned into quite a funny thing. Now we've got both of our batters and we're just going to add our bananas. Now, dealing with bananas can be really messy. A lot of people don't like mushy, yucky banana because when you take the skin off like this, it can start to get stuck all on you and it can be really, really messy. So I'll just sit that there for the minute. So the easiest way that I find to deal with your mashy banana, to deal with your bananas, is to just pop them on the plate, squash them on your plate, and then just pop them in your bowl. I just find that is just less mess. I don't get it all over me, and then I can just scrape it in. That's what works for me. We've got our banana in. I didn't make too much mess with the soggy banana. And now I'm just gonna stir it through. That's it. Oh, the bananas smell amazing. Now we're just gonna add our flour. So we've got 3/4 of a cup of self-raising flour and 3/4 of a cup of plain. And that's all we need. To this we're adding 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And then just give that a stir through. And we have a beautiful batter. Oh, the bananas just smell so good. It's really worth letting them go ripe like that. And then to that, we're just adding our chopped walnuts. So it's 1/2 cup of walnuts. I've probably got a little bit more than 1/2 cup, but it doesn't matter. And then that's it. Our cake is done. And this is so nice. Wait till you try it. It is absolutely beautiful. And like I said, you can make it into a loaf, or this recipe fits perfectly 1 tray of muffins. So 12 muffins or 1 loaf, or both. And that's it. So I'm gonna put 1 in the pan and then 1 that I prepared earlier, cupcakes. Now I've just lightly buttered that, lightly buttered. I always say that, don't I? But you know me, I've buttered it. I'm just gonna set that aside because I wanna put these in the oven at the same time. So now I'm just gonna spoon these in and pop them in the oven. Now the oven is preset at 180, my go-to, 180. So divide your batter into your little muffin pans. And I always manage to get 12. So that's our muffins in and our loaf pan in. Now I'm gonna put them both in the oven at the same time. I'll probably put the loaf on the bottom shelf, and then when I take these out, I'll put it up on the top. But I'm gonna pop these in the oven. The oven's set 180, fan forced, and I'm gonna set my timer for 20 minutes. So our cupcakes are out. We've got the canner jiggling in the background, 20 minutes, and you have the most beautiful little banana walnut cakes. I've left the loaf in and I've set the timer for another 15 minutes. So I've moved that up onto the top shelf like I said I was going to. Another 15 minutes and we'll also have a loaf. Not bad for just leftover bananas, hey. And once again, basic ingredients. You will love these. And if you want to make them a little bit fancy, if you're taking them somewhere, you can drizzle them with a little bit of icing, or before you put them in the oven, put a little bit of raw sugar and some crushed walnuts on the top of the batter before you cook them, and then they add this little bit of crunch on the top. But I'm just going to pop these in the freezer, so I didn't do that today. So the oven time has just gone off. So the loaves had 20 minutes plus 15, so 35 minutes, and the little cakes had 20. Now I'm just going to let this cool in the tin. It looks amazing. So when you're checking your cake, just press it on the top And if it feels a bit mushy, even though it is banana, it is going to feel soft and you're going to hear that squelchy stickiness. You'll know that it looks like raw batter when you're pressing it, but that's cooked. And it is going to firm up and cook a little bit further in the tin. Keep in mind that banana in there gets really hot. So leave it to cool in the tin, and then we'll turn it out on the rack and I'll cut it, and you can see how moist and beautiful it is. For such a basic, simple recipe, Phil, I don't know why you have never asked for it. So give this one a go. I'll pop one of these opened in the meantime. We'll go for this really cooked one. And you can see they are just beautiful. They are super, super soft, super, super yummy. And like I said, you can leave the nuts out if you don't want those, mix it up a little bit, but what a great way to use up all your bananas. So there's our little banana walnut muffins, and here's our loaf. We're just gonna give it a tap out onto the breadboard. Good old butter, works every time. And it's still nice and hot. And there it is, we have our loaf. It's a perfect recipe when you can make a loaf or you can make exactly 12 cakes. I love the 12 cake recipes. And I'll slice this one up. It can go in the freezer or it will keep probably about 4 days, 5 days in my kitchen maybe. So give this recipe a go, and don't forget, stay tuned for the next one. Until then, take care, and I'll see you when we get our potatoes out.